The big game is fast approaching, but wait, you still haven't got your tickets. You've spent hours searching, but you're still confused about ticket prices. Time to stop searching. Visit ticketcompare.com. We compare ticket prices for all the popular leagues and tournaments for you. We work only with the most trustworthy sites, so you can have peace of mind when buying your tickets. Compare prices, buy tickets, get to the game. Ticketcompare.com. Buying tickets made simple.
How you doing?
Fine, and you?
Yeah, not bad, thank you.
Good.
Rafa, do you feel after the way you came back the other night, there's a renewed confidence about the squad now?
Yeah, to be fair, I think we did some good things before, and always I will talk about Manchester United game, the first half, and then we made mistakes. We paid for that. After West Brom, we saw character and good reaction, so a lot of positives, and then the confidence is high, but more or less what we have had during the season. So a team that is working really hard, trying to do their best, and if you make mistakes, that is the Premier League, you pay for that, but after you have to react again.
I suppose the players yourself go into this one almost feeling like you won that the other night, given the character that you showed.
No, we didn't win. The problem that we could win, so we have the feeling that you say that positive, because it was a great way to show character and show the togetherness of the team, but we have to win, not to draw, so we have to do better.
How do you feel going back to your old club Chelsea for the first time?
It's fine. I didn't know that was the first time because I was in another team, but yeah, it's true that it's fine. Hopefully it will be a great atmosphere, a great game, and we can get 3 points.
What kind of reception do you expect? Do you care?
I think that they will be fine. So the normal fans that you could find in the streets, they were okay. So then when you go in a game, and the rivalry between Liverpool and Chelsea was at this time what changed things and the perception of some people, but the majority of the fans, I think that they realized that I was doing a professional job. We were finishing third, like Abramovich wanted to qualify straight for the Premier League, for the Champions League, sorry. We did it, and we won the Europa League in the meantime. So I think the fans will be happy with that.
Do you look back then at that time, was that a positive time for you?
Really positive. So I have a lot of friends there. The staff was really good, the players were fine, so a lot of fans, they were okay, so I think it was quite positive.
Did it bother you that maybe some of the supporters weren't quite as positive as the majority, like you said?
No, I tried to take the positive. The positive is that they realised that we were doing our job, and we did it until the end, and we achieved what they wanted, and even more, so fine.
And when you were Liverpool manager, you didn't have the best of records there at Chelsea. I know obviously Newcastle haven't either. Is it time for that to change this weekend?
I would like to say yes, that after the game we changed things, but it's a top side. It's quite difficult to go there and to beat them. But we went to Old Trafford and we had a lot of confidence, and I think we can try to do the same. Watching the game that they already played, they have very good players, so they have a good manager, so they have a lot of things that means that they will be there at the top of the table. But hopefully we can do something and we can get some points.
What have you made of what Antonio Conte's done there? He obviously had a terrific impact last season. Maybe not got off to quite a good start this season, but what have you made of what he's done there?
I think he's doing well. If you consider that last season they were playing just one important competition. Now, when you have to play also in Europe, apart from the Cups and then the league, it's always more difficult. You have to manage the squad in a different way. You will have injuries, so it's always more difficult when you play two competitions or two massive competitions. But still they are doing a good job because he's a good manager.
And just in terms of you guys, sorry if I missed it the other night, you made a number of changes to the team. Was there a problem with Elliot, or did you decide just to change them?
Yeah, I think that obviously we were not winning games, and I wanted to change something to be sure that everybody was on their toes and everybody could understand what we wanted and what we need to do if we want to stay in the Premier League.
You must have been pleased then with the reaction that you got from the players.
Yeah, I was pleased before with the team spirit of the players that were playing, and I was really pleased with not the 11 or all the players that were involved the other day, because they were doing their best.
Finally, any update at all for the takeover? You got any news for us?
Nope.
Need to ask.
Yeah, but no news.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Rafa, in terms of team news for this game, how are you looking?
I had a conversation with Atsu, Dumet and Lascelles a few minutes ago. Still they are not involved, they are very, very close but not ready. And the rest of the players are the same one that we had before.
And in terms of Rob Elliott, just going back to that, has he lost the number 1 spot now?
You will know tomorrow, but he's another one that has been training well. And I said before, the competition for us is crucial. If we want to survive and stay in the Premier League, we need to be sure that all the players, they give their best in every training session and after in the games, depending on the manager if they pick them or not.
Antonio Conte, you know him from your time in Italy, you crossed paths there. What do you make of him as his style as a manager, more generally?
No, he's very competitive. He likes to win, and you can see his passion that he's pushing all the time. So, and it depends on the team that you have. It's easier to win and to push, but no, he's someone that is very competitive.
And we were talking to Jacob Murphy earlier. He was talking about Newcastle working as a defensive unit all throughout the team at Stamford Bridge, from the forwards to the goalkeeper. Is that what Newcastle are going to stand on or fall on tomorrow?
Yeah, I think that we have to do that in every game. At the beginning of the season, we were quite solid in defence. The last game we conceded some goals, but when you go back to the basics and then you work very compact, very narrow and very hard as a team, it's more difficult for the other teams to break you down. So we have to do that.
And how important was it to end the losing run before going to Stamford Bridge? Obviously Newcastle the underdogs going into the game, but if it was going to be potentially 6 defeats in a row, there would have been pressure regardless of if you're playing Chelsea or not.
Yeah, I said before that it could be worse, when they were talking about 2, 3 defeats in a row, whatever. Then that is the Premier League. The level of the teams is really good, and you have to be careful every game. And because if you lose a game, you lose more confidence, and it's more difficult than this one. So to draw this one the way that we did it means that a lot for us, and hopefully now we will show this positive attitude and confidence from every player.
That's great.
Just.
When you go back to a club that you've got so much history with, against a manager that you've come up against at the top level, does it affect the way you prepare personally for a match, and does it feed through to the players?
No, not really. My concern always are the players. So what I said in a lot of press conference and interviews, you don't compete against the manager because it depends on what you have and what they have. So if you say, we have exactly the same things, then you can compete against the manager. But when you have a team and they have a team with different players, different levels, you have to try your best, and that's it. And you have to accept that sometimes, and doing really, really well, still you can lose. And sometimes if you are a little bit lucky, you can win making mistakes. But it's not a competition with any manager because you cannot. It's just to be sure that your team is bringing, or you are bringing the best from your players and your team is doing the best possible.
With the large amount of changes that you made ahead of West Brom, when you talked about keeping players on their toes, was it a shock to the team that there were that many changes for that game?
No, really. I like to rotate players if I can, and I did it in Valencia. I was doing 7 substitutions from one game to another. So it depends on your team, if they understand what they have to do, the level of the players, if you can change players and keep the level. And sometimes, it's because you have to do it. I was talking with some fans the other day here, and then they were telling me, listen, why you don't play this player earlier or from the beginning, from the start? I said, because he was not fit. I said, but he could play 45 minutes. No, so then sometimes you cannot explain the fans that players, like in this case was Mikel Merino, he was coming back from injury, so he couldn't play 45 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever. It's just you have to manage with your fitness coach and your medical department sometimes these kind of problems.
Defensively, as you said, leaked more goals more recently and obviously lost Jamal Lascelles. How important is it that a team doesn't rely on a player to keep them organised, to keep that physical presence? As you said, it's about a defensive unit. Is that something that you've paid even more attention to since Jamal's been injured?
My feeling is that the team will improve defensively, but we will need time. So you could see our team at the beginning. We were defending as a unit, and the understanding between players was quite good, and it was not easy for anyone to create chances against us. Then we have a couple of injuries, and then we have to change players, And when you change things, you expect that it could be easier, but if you see that it's not like this, then the only way is to work harder and better.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Rafa, can I add one more? Sorry, Ben. Just you were talking about players there, and supporters getting maybe frustrated or restless or whatever. What do you say to the supporters who think Alexander Mitrovic deserves a start, and you can kind of hear them sometimes at games asking for that as well? What do you say to those fans?
That we have very good competitions in the striker positions, and I am pleased with this competition.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers. Take care.